We're at the start of an epic 5-week road trip around New Zealand, driving the length of the country in our camper van, who we named Aston. In the last episode, we took a tour around the Hobbiton movie set, where we discovered that hobbits live in an awesome village that we want to live in.
It's a really, really beautiful little village. If I was a hobbit, I know exactly where I'd be at.
And they also make really good cider and pies.
We then made the 1-hour journey down to Rotorua, a place famous for its volcanic activity. You basically can't leave the city without checking out a geothermal park, so today we're heading to Waiotapu. Tickets through Klook are $29 per person. Waiotapu is a geothermal wonderland that's been bubbling away for thousands of years, so we're going to get up close and personal with some boiling mud pools and steamy geysers. Good morning from Rotorua.
Watch out for this guy.
Well, we almost hit someone already. Today is all about ticking off some of the biggest...
Where are you going, babe?
The exit's that way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, what's that bit there?
Don't know. Some of the biggest and best things to do in Rotorua, and one of the things that is famous for, like world famous for, is the smell of sulphur from the geothermal activity that's going on in this place.
So our first stop is going to be a place called Waiotapu, and we're trying to get there at a specific time to see something amazing.
There's a lot of bubbling mud, but there's one geyser in particular, one lady that we want to see because apparently she explodes.
Yeah, at the same time every day, 20 meters into the air. So we've had our coffees, we're hitting the road, and we've got about a half an hour drive ahead of us.
And we're hoping that she's feeling explosive today.
734 hash.
734. Start that navigation!
Near the end of our 30-minute drive, we had to make a quick pit stop to rescue our toilet from flying out the door, which we had completely forgotten to lock before we left. Maybe one day we'll get better at this whole camper van thing. We've been given our tickets, and we've been given a map and instructions on where to go to see the geyser, and then we're going to go back to the car park and then do probably the 45-minute loop. We might do 2 if we're feeling fitnessy.
So there's 3 different variations, is it?
Yes, they vary from 45 minutes to 90 minutes, and with different kind of things all along the way, from different coloured pools to mud baths and all sorts of things.
I have heard that the 3rd one is the best in terms of colours, but I just don't know if I'm going to get there with my back where it's playing up. So I think we'll start and we'll see how we go. But first stop is obviously go and see the geyser.
You can definitely smell it.
Oh, it smells like eggs, like rotten eggs. Ooh,
The best kind.
It's pungent. It's like an amphitheatre almost.
Oh, cool.
Should we go down?
Literally, yeah, let's go down a bit further. Literally everywhere you drive around here, just on the side of the road, you can just see the steam coming off. And because it's a cold morning in particular, because it's thermal and hot, you get to see that real steaminess everywhere you drive in Rotorua. It's quite cool to see.
Alrighty, kia ora te iwi, ko te ngā tōku ingoa, rawa ko Anita. Aho, my name's Chanel and this is Anita, and we're your guides today, your hosts.
So Lady Knox Geyser erupts every day at 10:15 a.m. on the dot. How does she know to erupt at that exact time, you might ask? She has a little bit of assistance from the staff who, during the show, explain how she got her name and how it all came to be before pouring in what looks like some kind of a magic potion, and then she erupts 10 to 20 meters into the air. Funnily enough, the chemical reaction used to control Lady Knox's eruptions was actually discovered by mistake by some prisoners.
It's quite a long-winded story, but prisoners in the area were using
A certain type of soap,
That's
and
the
they
one.
dropped it in the hot, because they used to bathe in the hot springs.
that would be the days, wouldn't it? Just having hot water just literally on your doorstep like
Yeah,
that.
it's like just having a natural spa pool. They dropped it in the water one day, and then all of a sudden there was this massive explosion or eruption I should say, because it reacted with the hot mineral water underneath the surface in the reservoir, and then they built that little volcano looking thing, and over time
to make fun, just to have fun with it.
Yeah.
And now it's what they've been using, and that was over 100 years ago. But check this out.
Bit more pungent.
Hey. You'd think by now we'd be used to that. So we are doing a 45-minute loop track now, and the main attraction that we want to see on this route is the champagne pool. And apparently it got its name, you know, when you open up a champagne bottle and then you pour it in a glass, it kind of like bubbles.
Yeah.
Apparently that's what the champagne pool looks like.
Oh, cool.
But man, there's just so much to look at. I don't know, so much to smell,
Let's
so
go
much
up
to
this
look
way.
at.
This is awesome.
The park itself is 18 square kilometres, and there's something different to see and smell around every corner. Even though you'd think things would get pretty repetitive on a 45-minute walk, Mother Nature has spent thousands of years making sure that that's not the case. One of the most dramatic things that's going on is actually happening underground.
You can go read what the craters are about.
Yeah, okay.
So acid from the water makes the ground erode on the underside, causing craters.
Science.
So this one was formed in 1968. It's now 3 times larger than it was when it was first collapsed into this crater, and it's enormous. But because the water's 98 degrees, it's continuously giving off acid, so that is just going to get bigger and bigger.
Some of the craters are so loud you can even hear them before you can see them. That's the loudest one we've heard.
Ruapumahu is the loudest.
The crater has the bottom of boiling hot mud.
Whoa, sounds like a washing machine.
With so much mud around, it's no surprises that the people came up with some pretty creative ways to put it to use.
The mud pool is about 50 degrees, and what they used to do back in the day was take the sludge off the top and burn it in kerosene lanterns. Isn't nature just so amazing?
Yeah, they were creative back then.
I know, I would never think to do that. I wouldn't be walking down the street and be like, oh, a mud pool, let me just grab some of that and make a little fire. It's one of the most colourful geothermal attractions in the country, and even Dane, who's colourblind, could appreciate the fluoro hot springs. This pool is runoff water from the champagne pool and gets its colour from mineral deposits.
It is ridiculous.
It's a wild colour.
Look at it. I don't think that's going to come out on camera.
That's fluorescent green.
Fluoro.
It looks toxic.
But after all of that, the real showstopper is the champagne pool, which looks like it belongs on a completely different planet.
This is called the artist.
Whoa. Wowzers, look at all the colour. Kind of crazy you can just walk across this.
I know. It said hold on to your children at all times. Can you imagine? Not me. A full-grown adult.
These are the largest terraces in New Zealand, at least the largest ones that are left, because the original ones in the early 1900s got swallowed up as part of a big, I think it was an eruption?
Yeah.
Did you read that big eruption, which is a shame because they looked really interesting. Almost reminded me of Pamukkale in Turkey.
Oh yeah.
The colours change every single day. Oh, we're almost engulfed.
The champagne pool is actually the largest hot spring in New Zealand, but you can't swim in it because it's 74 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to. We actually can't really see it, but we've been walking around it this whole time anyway. The views up the top there were the best.
Yes.
When you could see the different colours. It was formed 700 years ago. There's a whole bunch of different minerals that are in there, but I was surprised to see that, along with sulphur, was silver and gold.
It's also 65 metres in diameter and 62 metres deep. Wow.
Yeah, look at all those
Wow.
details. I'm joking. Didn't see that coming down the wrong tube.
Basically, what I was trying to say before I almost drowned on my own water is the next few days are going to be jam-packed with all of the most exciting things to see and do in Rotorua.
He said we had to get on the power to get the momentum to get up. Oh, his jumps!
Are you just like in heaven right now?
Yeah.
Look, this is amazing.
Well done.
I go on.